Take a look at a banana. It's one of the most familiar shapes in the world. So familiar that most people never question it. But if you actually stop and think about it, why is it curved, not straight like a cucumber or hanging like grapes? And why do bananas almost always curve in the same direction? It looks like it was designed, but it wasn't. And the real reason has nothing to do with convenience and everything to do with a silent tug of war happening inside the plant between gravity, growth, and light. Most people imagine bananas growing in their final curved shape, but they don't. When a banana first develops, it grows in a hanging cluster on the banana plant, and at the beginning it actually points downward, pulled by gravity. At this stage, it looks relatively straight and ordinary, but as it develops, something strange happens. It doesn't stay straight. It slowly begins to bend, and not randomly, but in a consistent direction that makes it curve upward. Which raises a simple question: why would something growing downward begin to bend upward instead? The answer starts with gravity. Plants don't just exist in gravity, they respond to it, and bananas are especially sensitive to this force. As the fruit develops, different sides of the banana grow at slightly different rates, and over time, that tiny difference builds up and causes the fruit to bend. This process is known as gravitropism, meaning growth in response to gravity. In bananas, it creates a gradual upward curvature against the initial downward pull. But gravity isn't the only influence, because light also plays a role in subtle ways, and the final shape becomes the result of multiple environmental signals acting at the same time.
But none of this is happening randomly, because the real driver is something even smaller: plant hormones. Inside the banana, a hormone called auxin is constantly moving through the tissue and controlling how cells grow. The key detail is that gravity affects where auxin accumulates, which means one side of the banana receives slightly different growth signals than the other. That imbalance causes one side to expand more than the other, not suddenly or dramatically, but slowly over time. Day after day, millimeter by millimeter, that uneven growth accumulates until the banana visibly curves. So the banana isn't deciding to bend, it is being shaped by microscopic differences in growth happening continuously inside its structure. This still leaves another question though. Why do bananas end up like this while most other fruits don't? The answer lies in how different plants solve survival differently. Some fruits grow close to the ground, some hang loosely, and some are protected by leaves or branches. But bananas grow in heavy clusters hanging from tall plants, and that position creates strong gravitational influence on their developing shape. At the same time, growth continues in multiple directions depending on internal signals and environmental cues like light. So instead of growing in a straight line, the banana develops under competing forces: gravity pulling it downward, growth pushing unevenly, and light subtly influencing orientation. The result is not a straight structure, but a curve formed as a compromise between all these influences. Over evolutionary time, this growth pattern became stable and repeated because it worked well for the plant in its natural environment.
The most important thing to understand is that the banana is not curved because it needs to be curved. It is curved because living tissue does not grow in perfect symmetry when exposed to uneven forces. Gravity pulls, hormones redistribute growth, light adds subtle direction, and over time, those small differences accumulate into a visible shape. So the banana you hold in your hand is essentially a frozen record of all those forces acting at once. Not designed, not intentional, but biology responding to physics. So the next time you see a banana, it doesn't just look like a fruit anymore. It looks like evidence. Evidence of gravity shaping growth, hormones controlling structure, and a plant constantly negotiating with its environment. And what looks like a simple curve is actually the final result of invisible forces that you never see, but that are always there.